Former Attorney General Federation, Aondoaka, insists Tinubu must score 25% in FCT to be declared winner. So this law is there, but what is his name? Mahmoud Yakubu failed all of that, and he knows it. Okay, that you must win federal, you must win 25% of at least 24 states across the country, and you must also win in FCT before you can be declared a winner. And that is what they have been using. But this time around, they turned everything upside down because of one person, because of Tinubu. Quite unfortunate. Now, Aondoaka, a former Attorney General of the Federation, has come out to tell them the same truth. Okay? It's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. The former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Chief Michael Aondoaka, son, has maintained that before a candidate can be declared winner in a presidential election, that candidate must score 25% of the votes cast in the electoral election in two-thirds of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. That is it. Okay, so this is coming as a constitutional lawyer. Professor Mike Ozekome faulted the Independent National Electoral Commission for going ahead to declare Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu of All Progressive Congress as the president-elect, having not scored the required 25% in the FCT. Aondoaka, who stated this while appearing as a guest on a Rise News channel program, maintained that this requirement has been the law and has not changed since the pronouncement of the Supreme Court in 2008. There have been mixed reactions by lawyers on the issue since Wednesday, when Tinubu was declared the winner of the February 25 presidential election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Tinubu secured 8,794,726 votes to defeat Atiku Abubakar of PDP and Peter Obi of Labour Party. While Tinubu and Atiku won 12 states each, Obi won 11 states and the Federal Capital Territory, while Kwakwanso defeated the three only in Kano State. Now, of the three leading presidential candidates, only Obi won the FCT, which is believed to be a very strong constitutional requirement to become the president of Nigeria. So this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, while the 1999 Constitution states that a presidential candidate must secure the highest number of votes cast at the election, it further added that the candidate must also secure not less than 25% of the votes cast in at least two-thirds of all the states of the Federation and the FCT. Though Tinubu scored the highest number of votes cast at the election and also polled at least 25% of the valid votes in at least 24 states in line with the Constitution, the former Lagos State governor did not secure 25% in FCT. Specifically, Section 134, Subsection 2 states, a candidate for an election to the office of president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there be more than two candidates for the election. He has the highest number of votes cast at the election, and B, he has not less than 1/4 of the votes cast at the election in each of at least two-thirds of all the states in the Federation at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. But while noting that the matter is already in court, and as such, he would not dwell deeply on it, the former AGF recalled that the Supreme Court had in 2008, in a suit involving the current President Muhammadu Buhari and the then President Alhaji Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, resolved that issue of 25% in two-thirds of the states of the Federation and the FCT will still stand. It is a very difficult situation, but the matter has been interpreted before, around 2008, in a matter involving the current president, he said, adding that the pronouncement then was that, and it's used conjunctively. That was the interpretation then. Maybe the interpretation, maybe the Supreme Court may have another look since it was a long time ago, but as of now, that is interpretation. The interpretation was that the states and the Federal Capital Territory shall be construed conjunctively. In other words, you must get 25% into TED and 25% in FCT if you go by the interpretation of the Supreme Court in 2008. But I know the Supreme Court has the right to depart from its previous decision if the justice of the case demands so. I don't know if confronted with a similar situation, they will follow their own decision or depart from it, he added. Meanwhile, a constitutional lawyer, Professor Zekome, has faulted INEC for declaring Tinubu as the president-elect, having not scored the required 25% in FCT. The constitution says you must get 25% in 24 states and in FCT. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not score 25% in FCT. And since he did not score 25% in FCT, he should not have been declared president as INEC wrongly did, he said, while claiming that the February 25 presidential election was not free, fair, and credible. Ozekome pointed out that Tinubu would continue to carry a very heavy, strong burden of legitimacy and lack of it on his neck like an albatross. It does not require demonstration or protest on the street. The issue is moral burden on him. And that is what Zekome is saying. The senior lawyer noted that in seeking 25% or into third of all the states of the Federation and FCT, the Constitution clearly distinguished the FCT as a separate entity or a special territory, wherein the presidential candidate need to obtain at least 25% of the total vote cast in the election. The framers of the Constitution certainly desired for Nigeria a president that is widely accepted with a national spread and not one that has only the support of his tribe or region. Hence, they provided in the Constitution the sections relating to the election of the president because of our peculiarities as multi-diverse and multi-faceted nation. Wow. The provisions contained in Section 134 of the Constitution are meant to reflect this. In the same light, the framers of the Constitution viewed the FCT as a melting point, a sort of mini Nigeria. Thus, as a commentator posited, the position or status of the FCT assumes that of a compulsory question that a presidential candidate must answer in the electoral examination. This is serious. Okay? The only logical conclusion is that sections 134 and 299 are not mutually exclusive or contradictory. Rather, section 299 supports and complements section 134. To show this distinctiveness, FCT has never conducted any election, either for gubernatorial candidates or state House of Assembly member as done by state. Rather, under Section 301 of the Constitution, the FCT is governed by the President with an appointed minister as his proxy in the form of Minister of the FCT. Likewise, the FCT does not have its own state House of Assembly, but legislates through the National Assembly. This, therefore, speaks to its distinct status, which is not affected by Section 299. Whether Abuja is regarded as a full state, pseudo-state, quasi-state, or semi-state is immaterial, even if it is none of these. The intention of the constitution makers matters if, in their wisdom, they decided to reckon with the votes cast in even a single local government in Nigeria, along with votes cast in 36 states recognized under the 1999 Constitution to decide the winner of a presidential election. Then the 6 area councils in the FCT cannot be treated lesser or ignored, the senior lawyer explained. Bagam. Bagam. So now, all of these, INEC and APC, they know it. Buhari and his government, they know it. But they just violated all of these laws because they desperately want to make Tinubu the president. Because they have eaten from him and they can't vomit what they have eaten. They will vomit it. They will vomit it. So there are a few comments here. I just take 2 comments. The position of FCT as it affects national election may be viewed as immaterial by the Apex Court since the APC has satisfied the first major condition, a lie, scoring the highest number of votes in addition to 2/3 of the 36 states. No, that is not what I'm saying. That FCT is a composite question that must be answered by the presidential candidate in the election examination. That is what I'm saying. You don't have it, you don't have it. The Arewa youths are watching keenly. Any nonsense on go collect. Tinubu is our next president. Obi should wait to be appointed Minister of China Affairs. Can you imagine? This is not Arewa youth. Arewa youth from where? Because you have put a stooge there that you are going to use to probably continue the mayhem that the Fulani men have been doing in Nigeria from beginning of Buhari's government. That is not going to work. Anybody who discovered the law while holding a key position in government, or who disobeyed the law while holding a key position in government, should not tell us anything about law. That is it. That is it. If you ask anyone to list the number of states we have in Nigeria, he or she will definitely include Abuja FCT among the states. What does that tell you? Abuja is considered as one state like others. Well, it's not considered as a state anyway, okay, but it's a territory that that is like the center, and that somebody coming must hold tight. Okay? Someone said, did you really go to school at all? Hear what Ozekome said. Don't worry, they'll go and argue it in the court, and then the truth will definitely surface. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment. That is what is coming from Mike Aondoaka.